In this video, I'm going to be installing a Resonator Delete, specifically the B2BFAB track pipe on my MK7 Golf Sportwagen. Hello and welcome to the Dad Wagon channel, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back and watching some more. I really appreciate it, and hopefully you'll really like this video. Today we're going to be installing the B2B track pipe on the MK7 Sportwagen, and as you may notice if you've been watching the last few videos, this is another B2BFAB video, but they've been an awesome partner. And again, this track pipe that we're going to be installing today is one that they sent us free of cost. So just want to make that known, but that will not change any opinions that I share with you guys. Obviously, I've established a great relationship with that team, and I really love to work with them. But you know, one, they've asked for feedback as we go through and install this, and I will share anything I find out with you guys as we go along in this process. So now the question is, why install a Resonator Delete? Or I guess maybe I should phrase it as, why get rid of your resonator and put in a straight pipe? Because that is essentially what you're doing. Simply put, it's to change the sound of our exhaust a little bit. Now, I'm not trying to achieve a great sounding exhaust on a Sportwagen. Everyone, for the most part, knows that these 1.8 Ts aren't really ever going to sound fantastic or as great as a VR6 or the newly, I've been intrigued by the 2.5 liter 5 cylinders. Can sound really cool, so I'm not going for that. But my car is, I'd say, has a mid-aggressive look to it with the wrap and with the used to be splitter and the GTI front bumper. So this is to kind of get the exhaust to be a little bit more in line with the semi-aggressive look. So make it a little bit louder. But you know, depending on the car you have, Resonator Deletes sometimes make a big difference and sometimes do not. So that's what we're going to be exploring today. So what we're installing today is this track pipe, and it's essentially just a perfectly fit straight pipe that's built for the GSW with 4Motion and the Alltrack. They make it also for the Tiguan and I believe the Atlas and a couple other MQB models as well. So if you're not familiar with your exhaust system, this is going to go right in between your downpipe and midpipe and the muffler system. The resonator currently sits there and is that first chamber that's going to start to help muffle the sound or change how the exhaust is flowing to help the mufflers further suppress the sound. So by taking that out, in theory, you should be getting a little bit more noise, or at least change the tone. Since we're primarily going for a sound change here, let's take a listen to what the car sounds like right now before the track pipe's installed. And keep in mind, my car has a 3-inch integrated engineering catted downpipe also installed. Hey guys, quick little commercial break to let you know we'll be kicking off the new year in the right way and doing a little bit of a giveaway. So if you're interested in one of the tuned and tuned sweatshirts that you can pick up on the Dad Wagon merch site, now's your chance to win one. So it's really simple to enter. Just go down the comments below and let me know what kind of content you want to see from us in 2022. And that's it. I'll be choosing someone at random to send it to. And this is not the sweatshirt we're giving away. We're giving away an XL I ordered as a sample. And if you're a large, it's probably just right for you. These sweatshirts run a little bit small. So comment below and we'll send it out. Now, because this track pipe was built specifically for the stock exhaust systems of the GSW and the Alltrack, I know that because I have that 3-inch downpipe from Integrated Engineering, there's gonna have to be some changes made either to my reducer setup or the track pipe itself. So I'm gonna pull off that mid pipe first and compare it, and then we'll talk about it once we have the whole thing laying out. So now that it's off the car, and the reason why I wanted to get it all the way off the car before just installing the B2B track pipe was, one, because I knew based on sizing that there were going to be some cuts we needed to make to the track pipe as well to make it fit perfectly, just due to the fact that all aftermarket downpipes have a little bit different sizing, whether that be in the size of the pipe's diameter in general, or in this case, the length of the mid pipe specifically, and because you're using reducers to get it to the proper size for this GSW or an Alltrack or a regular Golf, just because the GTI, the Golf R, and both the base model Golfs all have different sized exhaust piping. So let's take a look at what we have here now for the mid pipe and what was sent from Integrated Engineering. So what you're looking at here is a clamp that holds the reducer onto the mid pipe. I'm going to take this off for a second. So the reducer is going to reduce this size, and now this reducer and this downpipe in general was built for a Golf R. This is not going to fit on the GSW or Alltrack resonator piping that's coming out, so you needed to have an additional or different reducer. Long story short, I kind of, will say, finagled my way to get this to fit onto the GSW using some different size piping and a different size reducer, but I still use this and this clamp that came from IE. But now that I have this chance to kind of redo the exhaust and fit this B2B track pipe onto the GSW, I kind of want to do things a little bit more right this time. So what we're going to be doing is we're not going to be using this anymore from IE. And we're not going to be using this either. And I should mention that this concept isn't just my own, and it's something that B2BFAB totally expects when installing and having these types of installs, because like I mentioned, every downpipe is a little bit different. So I actually reached out to B2B, asked them for a little bit of help, and they were more than happy to do just that. So the one thing I did have already, and again, your application will probably be different unless you have the same exact downpipe that I have. But I'm using an off-the-shelf reducer that I was able to pick up at Advanced Auto Parts. This is a 3-inch, which this is a 3-inch pipe, to a 2.5, which is smaller than the original IE reducer. As you can see, it's going to go right inside. So this is going to fit on here. Fits perfectly. So this mid pipe to this reducer, and I'm going to use this provided clamp that came with the IE mid pipe from the get-go. That's going to get clamped on there. And then I'm going to bring in the track pipe. And if you see, the track pipe has these relief cuts. This was intended to slide over the reducer that came from your downpipe, where that's not going to work here, and it definitely wasn't going to work, with the original reducer, where it was actually going to slide inside, and they don't want that either. So this pipe is 2.5 inches. This pipe is 2.5 inches. So they are perfectly the same size, and they're not going to fit together either. But we're going to have to end up probably cutting this based on length from what I could see in an early preview of what I was doing. So this will have no more relief cuts, and will be the same exact size. And what B2B was able to provide for me was an exhaust sleeve clamp. What this does is there's a piece of metal inside the clamp, unlike something like this, as well as the outside clamp, which provides a really nice, I'm not going to say 100% airtight, but for the most part, airtight seal. So this is going to go right here. This is going to mate right up to this pipe here. And when these tighten down, this will be nice and flush and tight. So that is how we're going to do it. I am not going to connect all of this right now. We're going to do that once we're doing the actual install and are under the car, because like I mentioned, there will still be some cuts that will probably be needed to this side, but we'll see once we get started with that work. All right, so here is the stock resonator we just pulled off, just for comparison. Just taking a look at length and where we're mounting it. Not using this for exact sizing right now, but you can see the cut looks good. There's going to be just enough overlap here, but it does look like the track pipe is extending out further than what this did. So I'm going to put a rough mark on it here, but I'm not using this for actual cutting just yet. I'm going to put the mid pipe back on once we transfer over this mount here. I'm going to put the mid pipe on with the reducer and approximate where the sleeve is going to go and mock that up under the car, get this under the car in place, and check exact sizing before we actually cut the track pipe, because I don't want to have to get another one. Alright, now that we got that all chopped up, now comes the moment of truth to test fit this and see if I got my measurements right. Oh boy, let's see that again up close, baby. All right, now that it's all installed and buttoned up, let's go for a drive and see if we can hear a change in the tone and see if we get any fun new noises. All right, you just heard the clips. Please go down in the comments below and let me know what you think. Do you like it better with the Resonator Delete installed, or do you like it better how I had it before? Personally, I love this Resonator Delete and the Trackpipe install. I don't know, it just adds a certain level of fun when driving the car. You get to hear it a little bit more. It's kind of like when I did the cold air intake. I thought it was going to be something that I wasn't really going to care about, but the more I drove it, the more I started to love it. So now my thoughts on the Trackpipe itself. I mean, simply put, it's a straight pipe that connects your downpipe to your mufflers to where your resonator used to go. It's not a totally complex product, but B2BFAB did a tremendous job in making this and sizing it and making it easy, especially for those who don't have an aftermarket downpipe and just want to add a different note or tone to their exhaust. It's going to go on super, super easy because it is very specific and designed really, really well. In my case, yes, there were some modifications I needed to make, and that's going to be the case for anyone that has an aftermarket downpipe because, again, they're all coming from different manufacturers and have different sizes. Now, luckily for me, I reached out to B2BFAB, and yes, I had an existing relationship with them, but they did ensure me that anyone doing this install would have that similar level of service and help. So I guess that's the one thing I want to say, and I think that's true about any of these manufacturers. Many of them are smaller in size and want to help you out as much as possible. So when you have questions, don't always just muscle through it and try and figure it out unless you really know what you're doing, but feel free to reach out to them and try and get some help. So that's it for this video. I know it was a little bit longer one for a fairly simple product, but for anyone that's thinking about doing exhaust work, I hope it was helpful. I wanted to talk through a little bit more of the process I used to get there, and I really like the way this video turned out, so I hope that you did too. So again, as always, if you like this content, please give it a like, and better yet, subscribe, so that way you can get more content like this coming very, very soon. Thanks all, and I will see you very soon.